auto is a very important sector, and with some 3 or 4 listed companies, and the sector has been doing really well, especially since the post-COVID, after interest rates went down. But there are new changes. There's a new auto policy, new auto plants which are being set up, new cars which are coming. So we are kicking off with the session with an auto expert, Suneel Sarfaraz Munj, who is the co-founder of PakWheels. PakWheels, I'm sure you're all in Pakistan aware of it. It has millions of users. It's the biggest platform where auto fanatics discuss cars, and Suneel is the face of that. He's I call him the car guru. In fact, when I'm seeing him on this, takes me back 20 years at Lums, when I used to be sitting in a auditorium called A10, and he would come late at night and with his car keys, very expensive car. So Sunil was associated with cars even while he was a student. So it's not a surprise that today, like, he's one of the biggest faces. He's the biggest guru about all things car. So with that, Sunil, delighted to have you on this discussion. We have over 66 people who have dialed in on Zoom. Most of the audience are investors who invest in the auto sector, in the publicly listed companies, but I'm sure they're also car fans. So I would love to understand from you, get your view on, how is the demand in automotive right now? Which cars are doing well? Which cars do you like? So which cars do you think will do well? And also, what's your views on some of the new car brands which have launched, and the imports of cars? So over to you, Sunil. You're the expert, and then I'll ask you some questions, and we'll ask the audience to also pose some questions to you.
Okay, thank you, Ali, for having me here. And I think the intro you gave is a bit more for me, and it's overwhelming for me as far as my personal accomplishment is concerned. But PakWheels for sure is a community of auto lovers where all kind of people who belong to different fraternities but have a simple common interest is about cars, and we represent all the basically the interest group of all the consumers. And we have close insight on the pulse of the market as far as the consumer feedback is concerned. And if we talk about the auto sector in Pakistan, I think predominantly it's a supply constrained market. There is excess demand and less of supply. And this fact is evident from the research I did this morning. If you talk about any brand, let it be a new entrant or an old entrant, you cannot get any car booked at a lead time lesser than 3 to 4 months. In some cases, it's up to 8 months also. And it's a very common story on social media and on news sites. Whenever a new car is launched, you see a bloated figure of 10,000 or 17,000 figure of cars being booked. Although those are all bloated figures, but yet it is true that any car which comes on market is booked for at least 6 months. Let's say if there are investors in market or people who are trying to hoard the market, but still it's a fact that Pakistani market, the auto market, is a supply constrained market. For the longest time, we had only 3 brands. And as soon as the new brands started coming in after the auto policy 2016, which I think was the first and comprehensive auto policy of Pakistan, in which there were companies who took greenfield and a few of them took brownfield status to come into Pakistan. I think the market has been going really good till the COVID hit the world and Pakistan in particular also. So market was going good. New brands were coming in. I think the first brand to enter the market was Kia. And there's no doubt in saying that Kia Lucky has performed really well. Their Sportage has been sold like more than 20,000 units on the road. And somebody was telling me that if you go on the road, you'll see less Challi wali cars and more Sportage on the road. So this is true. So they have been going good till the time the COVID hit the auto industry. And post-COVID, the world is very different from what it was before. And some businesses have benefited out of the COVID, and some have gone bankrupt. Fortunately or unfortunately, Pakistan auto industry has been. I think they have been lucky after Corona, because before Corona, there was a time where competition had drive market to the perfect outcome where you don't have to wait for the cars for a longer time, and there was no on in the market. On or the premium, I think the people who are from Pakistan are very well aware of this term, on or premium, but people who are from outside who are watching it, so I can define from them for a minute that on is a premium which is asked for early delivery. So if the company has started booking of the car, and if I am one of those people who get an early delivery, I'm not an end consumer, I'm just an holder or an investor that will hold on to that car and want to sell into the market. So this is the on or premium, which is we in Pakistani market call on. So by end of 2019, there was no on any car. But post COVID, because there was a lockdown and original demand, there was an original demand in the market, but supply was less because all of us know that companies had to shut down because of this lockdown for at least 2 to 3 months, and their supply was badly disrupted. And there were people in market who wanted cars badly. So it's a simple supply and demand model. When you want something and you're not getting it, and you have to bid a little bit higher for this, so the on or the premium started going up. And if we look at the sales figure post-COVID, I think the recovery has been spectacular. We had an interview with Mr. Ali Jamali. He also said that the recovery of the auto sector has been better than what they anticipated. If you look at the post-lockdown sales figure and you compare it with 2019, I think most of the companies, except for the Park Suzuki, I think, which are on their own way of destruction, I don't know what they are doing. Everybody else was outnumbering their own sales of the same months if we compared with 2019. Suzuki is a separate example. If you compare all the products of Suzuki, they are underselling, and they're still on a longer wait time than any other company. I don't know why. But generally, auto sector in Pakistan, I think if from a consumer point of view, it's very positively growing. There are new entrants who are coming into the market. Market is given a lot of new options. If we start about talking about the SUV segment, which was newly, I would say, invented by Kia in Pakistan. Before Kia, there was only one single player monopoly in that sense. But Kia has found that sweet spot of 5 million and a crossover or SUV in the market. After that, you'll see the Tucson came, then MG, then Proton. So we have then Glory 580, and barring any of them, all of them, even Glory 580, which is a new entrant and it's a product of Road Prince Group, and it's a Chinese product. If you want to book that car, even you'll have to wait till May or June. So this is the condition of demand in auto sector in Pakistan. And right now I was doing some working for different brands. So if I may take a little bit of your time, and you want to book any car belonging to Toyota family, you go for Corolla, both Altis 1.6, 1.8, earliest deliveries August, July. You go for Fortuner, it is again August, September. If you go for Revo, it's again July. If you go for Yaris, that's the only vehicle which is available within 2 to 3 months time span. If you go for Sportage, all variants of newly launched Sorento are June, July. Similarly, if you go for Kia's Sportage, I think you will have 3 to 4 months time wait. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that every car on the market, there is no car which is you say is available off the rack to buy. Every car has a booking of at least 4 to 5 months. Even if you talk about the new entrant, Chang'an Elsewin was launched last month, and they have booking of 6 months, I think, before 2 days. So this shows the state of Pakistani auto market and auto industry. And I think from the point of view of investor and producers, this is a good positive sign that yes, there is a excess demand in market, and people are trying to adopt to new technology, new producers. Earlier on, it was a myth that in Pakistan only Japanese producer will sell, but now with the Korean producers coming in market and performing really well. Again, Kia and Hyundai both are performing well. If you talk about their booking figures, that is the only parameter we can look at right now, the sales figure or the booking figure. So both of them have a booking of at least 6 or 7 months, and they are producing really good product in the market, and the reviews by the customers are really good. And the second thing which you were talking about, that my idea about new entrant and import of cars is, so yes, I think as far as the new entrant is concerned, I think they are going good. And sooner or later, I tell everybody that next 6 months you'll see a lot of cars coming in market. Bike is coming with their new product BJ40 Plus. There's another sedan coming. So you'll see a lot of competition in the market, and competition always drive market, as we both studied at LAMS in economics, that competition will take you to the better outcome in the market in the long run. So I think it's better. But at the same time, I see some news in market wobbling around here and there regarding the new auto policy 2021, which is coming in the market, and government trying to threaten auto manufacturers that if you don't decrease your prices, we'll open up the import of used car. I think it is very negative news for market, because news like this or uncertainty which these news create have a long impact in the market. for both for consumers and for the producer. Producer in a sense that if you have invested a lot of dollars in Pakistan to start production, and it's a time for you to reap the benefits of that production. Most of the companies who came in Pakistan as a result of 2016 auto policy, 2021 is the time that they are going live. And right at the time they are going live, you're trying to threaten them with a new technique or new policy coming in with something which is very different from the auto policy with which they came into the market. I think that's not a good step from the point of view of government. And rather than the using or opening of imports as a threat, what they should do is they should, what we as a PakWheels, as a voice of consumer, we keep raising that yes, you should have some pricing formula where auto manufacturers should tell how much of their car is localized and how much is imported. So if there is a price increase in dollar, जो आपकी depreciation होती है, if there is a depreciation in local currency, a consumer should be able to see that being translated into price by that impact. Because conventionally what happens is if a dollar goes 1 rupees up, the whole price of market changes by exactly 1 rupee, assuming that 100% car is imported, which is not the case. So yes, government should sit with auto manufacturer and devise some formula of price change about, as we do with petroleum, that there is a fixed time in which petrol prices cannot be changed. Similarly, in auto industry, my advice would be they can have at least, they can make let's say a quarterly price which is fixed for 1 quarter, because not every company will be going on just in time inventory. They have imported some stuff, they will be building it here. So the old dollar rate should apply to the old inventory, and they can come up with some formula in which they can fix price for a certain bracket of time. Otherwise, I think threatening auto industry by giving some fake news or using these tactics, they will give a negative signal in investors, for not only the investor which are already there, but also for the investor which you are seeking in to come as a new EV policy also. So second thing I would like to talk about is the EV policy in itself, because there is a lot of talk around the world globally about the electric cars, and we see the shares of Tesla going up, and there are slides going around in the world that Tesla is crossing everybody else. And people keep asking me that what's my view on electric cars in Pakistan. I always say that yes, I think electric is the future, but you have to gauge the market size accurately. From where I see, I don't think that 100% of Pakistani market would convert to electric cars, because 70% of our population lives in a far away area where electricity supply is a big issue. So anybody living in a remote village in Sakhar, Dadu, Punjab or South Punjab would never even think of buying a electric car, because they can't even charge their mobile phone, let alone charging their cars. So the market size will only be urban. And in urban, in fact, not the early adapter will not be the people who have only one car in there. So people who have 2, 3, 4 cars early on, the early adopters will be the people who have extra car as an electric car in their house, and it will take their due time. Yes, our technology adoption curve has been very steep if we talk about mobile phones, 3G, 4G. And yes, in electric cars, I hope that our technology adoption curve will be steeper than other part of the world. But yet, we have to see about the interest of the companies who have invested in the gasoline cars, have set up plants in Pakistan. And similarly for the consumers, so it will not happen overnight that electric cars will come and then they'll take over the gasoline cars. What about the existing millions of the car on the roads? So if everybody who is in the gasoline business goes bankrupt or goes out of the business, so where will those cars will go for servicing, and where businesses stand? So I think we have to be very vigilant. And thirdly, the most important thing is the quality of cars being imported and sold in name of electric cars. I don't see that a lot of quality product will be coming in Pakistan, except we can have a lot of Chinese or low price Chinese cars coming in as electric cars, and it'll do two things. Number one, it'll waste your foreign exchange on importing of low inferior products. Number two, in long term, the confidence of a Pakistani consumer in electric cars would go down. So these two things, I think government has to be very vigilant about. Aside from that, I think it's a very good time for auto industry. As we all can see, December was literally raining SUVs in this December. We had like 3 to 4 SUVs coming, and there are a lot more coming in coming months. So one more thing which is very important, which government needs to work on, regardless of EV or non-EV, is the quality policy which we have to implement in the car. There is no requirement of airbags in Pakistan. There is no requirement of minimum amount of dealerships in Pakistan. There is no requirement of, there's no consumer safety as far as the auto sector is concerned. So if I become an agent of XYZ company in Pakistan and flow away with millions of dollars, there is nobody safeguarding interest of public. So we have to look about this, because every day we hear about the stories that X company booked 17,000 units, Y company used 30,000 units, and I keep on asking myself if the 17,000 figure is right, and they are taking 2 million per car for booking, and you multiply by this number, that comes out to be 340 million, 340,000 जो है बनता है तकरीबन 3 अरब rupees बनता है. And if somebody runs away with that money, does government have that security to pay off the people who are giving their money to these companies? So there should be some rating or grading for the private companies. Yes, public listed companies are not running anywhere and everybody can see their annual return. But what about the private companies? Recently, we have seen companies coming in, and again, the whole this paradigm about import versus localization is at a tilt right now. So if we look at the company MG, which is selling cars in Pakistan and importing them, they have sold more than 400 cars in Pakistan, and they are claiming that 3,600 more cars are on the way. So if we go by the argument of import versus local, so this is also capital flight. These 4,000 units are being imported and being sold, and the capital is going out of Pakistan. So we have to decide that the government has to decide that they have to put their weight, and how would they achieve the localization they want. Because under this greenfield status or the policy which came in 2016, the aim of government was to have maximum industrialization in Pakistan and shifting that CBU units to CKD unit at as soon as possible and as max as possible. So I think overall, if from the point of view of investor, if I am somebody who wanting to invest in listed companies in Pakistan, which are four, I think right now, all of them are doing really good, except for Park Suzuki. I don't know why are they missing the bus. If you look at their sales figure, so last year, I mean, they have performed under in every sector. If you talk about Suzuki, Alto, Mehran, and surprisingly, when dollar price was going down, their prices were still going up. I am unable to understand what policy they are following, but it's their personal decision. Barring that, I think all three players which are listed are performing really well. Their products are really good. They are well received in market. And as competition is coming on, we see that all auto players, including the new ones and the old ones, there is a clear shift between companies focused towards consumer choices and service industry, and which is, I think, very good. Initially, when there were only 2-3 players, they were very less focused on consumer demand. And I always used to tell people, and in fact joke about the people who were in the marketing of these big three, that they are lucky people, they are lucky ones. They open their shutter and their 8-month sales is already done. So there's nothing to sell anyways. So whoever was dealing their marketing was having a free lunch in that sense. But now I think it's time that everybody is working really hard.
Thank you for that, Suneel. This was extremely comprehensive, and we've had like now more than 100 people join this call, which makes it one of our most popular ones. I have a lot of questions for you, and people are also posting questions now. You also do car reviews, and so you're like Top Gear of Pakistan. What do you think about the new cars which have been launched? Because I hear from people sometimes that in terms of quality, nothing beats the incumbent, especially Toyota. Like people say that So what do you think of the quality of the new cars which are being launched? And secondly, do you see any shift away from market share gain from sedan to SUVs? That's a question which somebody has posted on chat, but I'm curious on your
I'll answer the first question first. So if you talk about the quality, I would not pass a generic statement that no, every entrant has a bad quality. There are good quality products and there are bad quality products. Generally, there was a time in auto industry worldwide that Americans used to think that they can only make the car. And when Japanese came into the market, they said these are the people who are high on their own and they cannot make a car. But with due time, Japanese took over that market and Japanese cars become the name of the quality. Then there came the time of the Koreans. When Koreans initially came, exactly they faced the same reaction from the market that Koreans don't know how to make a car, only Japanese can make a car. But now if you go worldwide in American market, in UAE and in Saudi, you can see a lot of Korean market taking over the Japanese incumbents because of their good pricing. In Pakistan, if we talk about the quality of the products, I think the quality is very good. But the only thing I would disagree, or I would think that there is a room, or the players who are coming in have to understand is that yes, you have to win the market with the price. The quality is, yes, if you're a newcomer and you're giving a quality equal to Toyota or Honda, if you are giving or you claiming to, but still you cannot charge same amount of money, because there is cars globally are not sold at the production cost, they are sold at the perceived value they are at. So globally, Japanese car will be is perceived at a higher value than a Korean car, and then there are the Chinese people who are coming in. So quality in long term will be decided by consumer, I guess, because all these cars are very new. Whenever I do review of any car, I just tell, because the smell of new car is very alarming and very good for you to be in. And so in that sense, I always say the long term viability of the car, or its parts availability and their service network combined will decide the fate of these people who are coming in the market. But I would not agree that these are low quality products, because we have seen in market products coming from same origin. If you talk about, if I may say, Chinese product, so there are Chinese products which are very good quality. MG is a Chinese produced car. It is absolutely beautiful in its quality. There is no quality, I would say, hitch in the car. At the same time, we have seen Chinese cars which are like disposable in Pakistan. So it depends upon player to player that what product are you bringing. So, and second question was about SUV and sedan sector. I think the sedan sector is not been taken away, but what actually happened was that after the depreciation in 2019, the prices of sedan became very close to the crossover SUV market. So if you go to buy a Honda Civic or a Toyota Grande, it will cost you 4.3 to 4.5 million on road. At the same time, you're getting 3 or 4 crossover SUVs starting from 4.5 million to 5.5 million, which makes this shift from sedan to crossover a very easy shift. And giving the low interest rate in the market is, I think, K plus 0.2 is the minimum and 0.4 is for the higher risk individual. There is a very easy financing also available. I think it makes a very perfect and easy choice for any consumer to shift from high end sedan to entry level SUV. So I think we are seeing a lot of that shift in the market.
Got it. So you are seeing that shift, which is very interesting.
Sure, for sure.
What about the used market? So there's a question that, how's the demand in the used market versus new market?
As I told you, the Pakistan is a supply constrained market, and we have a shortage of cars. So that translates directly into the used market. So if you are a genuine buyer and you want to buy a car for your personal use, for your daughter or your son to go to college, some personal use, you cannot wait 3 to 4 to 5 months. So the only choice you're left with is either to pay that premium, which is very hefty. I would never recommend anybody to pay a premium, because I always say the car doesn't have any ventilator. It won't help you live longer. So wait for a car and do not pay premium. The second option the consumers are left with is a used car. Similarly, the used car market is also affected by these variables. So if you bought a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla 3 years back and you have driven it 100,000 kilometers, and in Pak rupee term, you can still gain at least ₹1 million today by selling that, which means that there is a lot of demand in used car market. And I think primarily because of the shortage. Secondly, because the prices of new car have gone so high that an average household cannot afford a new car, and they have no choice but to buy a used car. So we'll see on our platform, PakWheels, the average turnover time of a used car is lowest among the world. I think an average car to sell used car in Pakistan is less than 10 days.
Wow, very, very
So
interesting.
when we talk to people outside Pakistan, they are surprised that you are really rich people in Pakistan. Then I tell them we're not rich people. We are people who have lack of choices right now because the prices of new cars are very gone up.
Got it. And there's a question which has come 2 times, so I'll read that. Is the concept of scrap policy for automotive feasible in Pakistan, given the economic conditions? How long will it take Pakistan to implement such a policy? I don't know about it, but there seems to be something called the scrappage policy.
I haven't heard of the scrap policy. If he's talking about that you can import a scrap or a used vehicle, I don't think the scrap import is allowed in Pakistan. And as far as the used vehicle import is concerned, it's for expat, very little amount of people. And the third thing, which economically, I was reading an article in Business Recorder by Ali Khizr last week, and it was very interesting article which spoke about anti-dumping in Pakistan should also be implemented, and all the players should also think about this, that they should have anti-dumping laws imposed in Pakistan. Otherwise, as I was saying, that many Chinese players can come and dump their product in Pakistan at a lower cost and have all these people who are investing huge amount in Pakistan as a disadvantage. So I and you can import any 0-meter car at any price, and yes, we'll be getting it dumped in from Pakistan from Chinese, and the people who are investing their huge amount and huge sums of money in Pakistan will be at loss.
Absolutely. There are a few questions about, and then do you think that the incumbents Indus and Honda will launch new cars with higher frequency now, given that there's more competition? There's a question that do you think that Indus and Suzuki can collaborate? After your session, the CEO of Indus is speaking. So, but do you have any opinion on
I think I'll be very honest, where I have spoken about Suzuki and its policy. I would admit, and I'll be brave enough to admit, that all three of the incumbent players have been ready for the competition, and not right now. But I think if you look at their product offering and the frequency, right from 2015, and there has been a shift in the way they have been operating. There has been shift in the frequency they have offering their product. And if we talk about Suzuki, there has been a massive shift in their quality. I would say that all their products are very high quality, and I'm bravely saying that where I have criticized their pricing, I would admit that the quality has gone way above. Similarly, for Honda and Toyota, I think Toyota, I've always been an admirer in the sense that they are very smart in their marketing research. What I say is they plan their launches really well. I mean, they go to the nth level of detail, and they launch a product at the time of the when your crop is cut and the farmers have a lot of money in their pocket. So they have very, you can say they have very deep research in market. As far as Honda is concerned, I have a bit disappointed, and I think they are trying really hard to give their top 3 position to any of the new players, because they haven't offered any new product in the market as yet. But I have news that they are coming with a couple of new products. But yes, you're right. As we were discussing, that competition will always competition always forces you to become a better yourself. So they are working really hard, and they are increasing their offering. There has been increase on customer focus, and there has been increase in the frequency of the products being offered. So I think in that way, yes, you're right, that there has been a shift.
What about market share? Do you think that the new guys are they taking market share, or is the market growing?
I think initially they are not taking market share. They have grown the market. They have brought people in the market who were initially buying imported products. So if we talk about the 660cc category, before the launch of Suzuki Alto, which is locally made on the first 660cc car, there was no 60cc car in the market which is made in Pakistan, and people used to import around 12 to 20,000 imported 660 cars used to come every year. So they have not taken share of any local producer. Yes, they have taken the share from the import market. And if you talk about the SUV market, they have created a new niche in market, I guess. So there was a consumer who was stuck between 5 to 7 million, but they had no option to buy from. And there has been a slight shift, as I told you, from the consumers of high-end sedan market. So, but in long term, I think the true competition would be seen when all the players are operative, and that is, I think, from that is around from 6 months from now, and that is the time then I expect and I predict that there will be no on or no premium in the market, and you'll see real competition, because initially there has been invested in the market. But and there is an interesting fact I always talk to people, that pre-COVID and post-COVID, if I compare my income and your income, it has not gone up. People have lost their jobs, with very few exception that there are very few sectors of economy will be doing better. But overall, at average income of household has not gone up. So where is this excess demand coming from? This is a fake demand which is created by investor in the market. But how long they can hold this investment? Most of the cars have a 6 months booking time. When they'll come into the market and there will be no genuine buyer, as much buyer as they expected, they'll be to reduce that premium. And I think in long term, the market forces will determine that the cars will be sold exactly at their tag prices, but not on the premium. And that will be the time when we'll see that the true competition is kicking in. Because right now, if you talk to any auto manufacturer and you ask them that you're charging very high price, they'll show you the market figure that our cars are being sold at 1 million premium. This means the perceived value of a car is better than what we are offering. So you cannot say that we are offering a car at higher prices. In fact, we are underselling ourselves.
Very, very interesting. I'm getting loaded with questions, but we are running out of time. Actually, we're already slightly ahead of time. But I have one more question to you, Suneel. Parts locally. I also often hear that that the new incumbents will struggle because the parts are not produced domestically for them. Is that an issue?
I have a differentiating. I would differentiate. I would differ from them on this point of view, because I think at certain time the parts are not localized where they can be, and if they want to reduce prices or they want to compete in market, because if we keep on crying that there is a currency disadvantage, then that will always be there. The only solution to the currency disadvantage is the localization. And believe you me, Pakistan has got a lot of talent, and we have, if you look at the industry, there is an institution called PAMA and PAPAM. There are a lot of vendors who are providing parts to Indus, provides to Honda. And if I may quote Ali Jamali Saab, and he mentioned in one of his recent interviews to me that more than 60% of Toyota is localized. So anything that you touch after sitting in a Toyota is made in Pakistan. So yes, we can make things. It's a different perspective. I think at times the foreign investors or the companies who are investing in Pakistan are not exactly passing that technology to Pakistan. Firstly, secondly, they are buying products from their own country at a higher price, where they can get this product made in Pakistan at a lower price. And that is what our target as Pakistani should be, that more of these cars should be localized. And if we look at this auto policy, I think it was designed that way. Within 5 years of that launch, they'll have to internalize a lot of their products, and they have to give localization to a lot of products. Otherwise, they'll not survive. So, and I see, if because I keep a strict eye on the CKD kits being imported by all these players. So I can tell you that I have seen that Kia Sportage has localized at least 2,000 worth of its CKD unit. Initially, they were importing CKD at 20,000. Now they're importing at 18,000, which means that they are localizing at least that much of that parts. And within that 5-year period which they are given, I think they will be forced to localize if the government sticks to the policy and the promises given.
Thank you so much, Sunil. This was extremely insightful and very hopeful that you told us that you think that prices should come down, and at least the premiums should come down in the 6 months, and we will have more competition. And but more importantly, as you said, the quality is good. So we have lots of questions. Sorry, we have not been able to ask Sunil those questions, but perhaps we can request you sometime in the future to give some time where we can address those questions which the participants have asked. So
I can request you to send me those questions on email, and I would address them in my next weekly, which we do every week.
Perfect. That will be great. So so people who have asked those questions, please, I'll copy it from the chat over here, but you can also email it to us, and I'll pass it on to Sunil, and he can address it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, Sunil. We are moving to the next session. It's with the CEO of Indus Motors, Mr. Ali Jamali, and this session will be moderated by my colleague Mahmood Bukhari, who's the CEO of KASB Securities, and he's also an auto fan. So he'll do a much better job than I did and moderated the session with Sunil. I just came for this session because of my association with Sunil, and I really wanted to ask him the questions. So thank you, Sunil, and over to you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you, Ali and Sunil. Assalamu alaikum, Ali bhai. Thank you so much for taking out the time to join us today, and welcome to our auto conference. We're glad to have you join us.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
So, Ali bhai, what we'll do is that we'll request you to talk about the sector, the growth outlook, and the competition a little bit. And what we'll do is that we'll first have you talk about it, and then we'll open the floor to people for their questions. So please, over to you, Ali bhai. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you, Bukhari, for inviting me on this. It's a pleasure. Just to give a opinion about the auto industry. The auto industry in Pakistan is booming right now. The last total units that we hit was 350,000 about three years back, and the market went down. Currently, I personally feel that because of the good policies that the government has given, I think the interest rate is one of the bigger factor. The businesses are doing well. Post-COVID, the market is really thriving. At least in my 20 years career, I have never seen such strong demand that has been seen right now in auto industry. So that's a good sign. My personal point of view is that by 26, 27, Pakistan market um, should hit about 500,000 units. This goal has been set for last 10 years and we've not been able to achieve this. But I think this time it seems that if our policies remain consistent with new entrants coming in who've brought a lot of excitement in the market, and they have created a new segment of growth in the market. I feel that the market, the local industry should hit about 500,000 units in the next 4 to 5 years. This will enable a lot of localization in Pakistan. I think in the 4 to 5 years, the period for the new entrants will also, the facility that they have is till 26. That will also enable a lot of localization to happen in Pakistan. And rightfully said by Suneel, I think the name of the game is localization, because that will make the products competitive in the market. So I think a lot of excitement in the market, a lot of competition coming in, a lot of new stuff for the consumer, for us also to look forward. So I think it's a very thriving market right now, autos.
Thank you so much, Ali Bhai. So Ali Bhai, we'll start off with the questions that we are getting. First off, I'll ask you about the auto industry development policy. What are your views on it, and how do you see it being one of the leaders of the industry? What is your view on it?
Again, it's been on the AIDC policy that was announced in 2016, and now it's going to end in 21, and the incentive out till 26. I think as a manufacturer or assembler as an OEM, we had welcomed this policy, and we still feel that is good for Pakistan. It's in the interest of the Pakistan that more players coming in the market, and the market is expanded. And even at that time, our only contention was, and it's I think it was agreed by the government also, that we should promote make in Pakistan, assemble in Pakistan, so that will create jobs in Pakistan. So I think with this policy, obviously it has created jobs, it has created new competition. It's been successful so far. So I personally feel that it's been a good policy. The advantages given to the new entrants, obviously there could be some debate, but I still feel, because people have put in investment here, they've created jobs. Okay, so that's good for the country. So that's how, even as when our late chairman was alive, Ali Habib, he also clearly told the government that okay, we welcome this policy. I have said this in a lot of occasions with the journalists also, that we actually welcome this, because the key is make in Pakistan. So we should not be importing vehicles. We should be making in Pakistan and let the industry develop. So I think that is there. So I think I would really say that it's been a good policy. Now the next policy will be coming in, which is 21 to 26. That is under debate with the government. So once it finalized, I would really want that there should be some more information, or there should be more, I would say, incentive for localization now in this policy, so that the localization kicks off in Pakistan more. Alhamdulillah, we have got a very, very strong localization base. The base is created, and there should be more incentive going forward, so that more parts are made in Pakistan, there are more jobs created, there's less foreign exchange that goes out. So that should be the future for Pakistan.
Ali Bhai, we have a question. You spoke about localization. In terms of that, there's a question. Can you please mention percentage of localization in your cars in terms of the cost?
Okay, so
Suneel mentioned 60%. आपने कहा है उनको, या आपने कहीं mention किया कि 60% local होती है, ऐसा ही है?
Okay, so again, from vehicle to vehicle is different. What Suneel said is partially right. So let me give you example for Yaris and Corolla, because the volumes are higher. I would say that in value terms, more than 65% is made in Pakistan. Made in Pakistan. I would say make in Pakistan. गाड़ी के 3 कंपोनेंट्स है. One is RSP जो है. If you see this, there is one stakeholder which is government of Pakistan. So every car, about 38 to 40% of the price goes to government of Pakistan. जब आप वो निकाल दें 100 में से 100 में से, तो जो 60 बचता है या 62 बचता है, that component is local versus imported. उसके अंदर 60 more than 65% okay of the value is made in or make in Pakistan, and remaining 35% is the import content in value terms. This is for Yaris and Corolla. In case of the other products that we manufacture, which is IMV1, which is the Hilux double cabin, and Fortuner, उसमें कम है क्योंकि उसके volumes कम है.
ठीक है, thank you. Ali bhai, another question we have is, has Indus ever thought of becoming a manufacturer center of excellence for right-hand market and export their product to other countries?
देखिए, again, export is one of our dreams that we want to achieve, but we have to remember that any country who exported first has taken the full potential of the domestic market. For export, obviously, you need to be competitive, and for competitive, you need volume. As the market grows 500,000 and 1 million, the economy scale for the models will start coming in and export will start. 2 lakh or 1.5 lakh गाड़ी की market में, I don't think there's any country who will be able to export. So volumes needs, this industry is a very highly skilled and very capital intensive industry. So volume is very important. So once the volume comes, people will start exporting also.
Okay, thank you. Ali bhai, you mentioned कि इस वक्त rates are pretty low, you know, the interest rates. You guys keep a number of how many cars are being financed and how many people are buying on cash? Percentage wise क्या होता है mix?
Yeah, okay, so I think देखिए इसमें again मैं आपको थोड़ी history बताऊं कि the highest boom that came in consumer financing was 2005. Okay, where the market, the consumer financing went up to 63 to 68%. Uske baad, you know, the crisis of delinquencies came into banks and it went down, as low as 20%. Right now, about 34 to 36% of the vehicles of the market are financed, and every assembler would have in different shares in that. But around 34 to 38% is the consumer financing right now. So remaining is cash.
Okay, thank you. Ali bhai, there've been a lot of talk about EV, you know, and a few German, one of the German automakers have already launched it over here. And I was sitting with him a couple of weeks ago, and according to him, he said we are selling 50 per month, you know. And I don't know how true his numbers were, but our price of the car, it's quite hefty, you know. And I could see it doing well in Karachi, but in Punjab, he believed it was a success. But I see कि parking जब तक आपकी station नहीं लगे होंगे charging के आपके लिए issues होगा. Talking about Toyota, they in other markets they have launched EV, or Pakistan में भी अब EV का they're talking about it a lot. So have you guys thought about it, or what are your plans, or have you looked at the policy, और उसके ऊपर आपके policy अगर कोई comments हो?
देखिए again इसमें जो policy है, again with the government did discuss with us, and they wanted this EV policy. And the good thing about this government is that they do debate, they have a discussion with the stakeholders, and they hear them out and then they decide. So this ऐसा नहीं है कि ये policy suddenly announce कर दी हमें नहीं पता. We may have our differences, but it's been discussed, debated. Now, talking about the infrastructure, obviously the most important thing is कि infrastructure हो ताकि EVs को promote किया जाए. It's even in the world right now, I think about 3 or 5% vehicles are EVs, so it's going to take a long way. But ये जो disruptive technology है ना, इसके बारे में कोई predict करना आसान नहीं. Okay, so I may sit here and say something which may get completely wrong after 3 to 5 years. So I will keep my comments reserved, because then people will get me. I personally feel it will take time in Pakistan. But as I said, okay, this is disruptive technology. It may come sooner than what we think. Now, there are other technologies. There's hybrid, there's EV, there's hydrogen cell. There are a lot of things are happening. So we need to wait and see. the policy obviously by the government of Pakistan, उस पे सिर्फ मुझे एक बात हमेशा रहती है कि when we give so much of duty discount, the localization gets killed in Pakistan. But if it's a short-term policy, it will push the general EV concept in Pakistan. It's good for the country. I'm always good what's good for the nation, right? So, but obviously, good for the nation is not only EV. The good for the nation is creating jobs, saving foreign exchange. So that's the main thing. Our main thing is what we are 200 million people country, more than 220 million people country. We've got a young population. We need jobs. We need to save foreign exchange because that's more important. So from the government point of view, that also should be considered. And I'm sure they've considered this. That's why this is a time-barred policy for 5 years.
Thank you. Ali bhai, from the apparent success of the compact SUVs that have come in, उससे लेते हुए मेरे पास एक सवाल आया. Need to ask about SUV versus sedan debate. What is the view at the regional success, and does Indus plan to launch these vehicles? तो SUVs आप लोगों के पास एक जैसे Fortuner तो है, आप लोग compact भी, it's been in the media that you guys are bringing one. What about bigger than a Fortuner?
Bigger than the Fortuner is Prado and Land Cruiser, right? The volume of that doesn't justify localization in Pakistan. So far, you never know, if the market becomes 500,000, the volume may become very interesting. The other thing is that obviously the rightfully for the government has got a lot of duties and taxes. Like for a SUV, which is higher than Fortuner, or even for Fortuner, if I had to import it, there's about 300% duty. That's why the vehicles are so expensive. But SUV segment is very interesting. We've had an eye on this segment, obviously, and I would really appreciate the strategy of the competition. Both Hyundai and Kia, they came up with the right strategy of bringing SUVs first in Pakistan. Worldwide, the trend from sedan to SUV is changing. Again, as I said, disruptive technology. As soon as these people have come, we've shown their success. Alhamdulillah, it's going very well for them, and I wish them best of luck for future also. We've also have plans. I can't disclose those plans, but obviously, as a company, we're also thinking of capitalizing the market. But एक चीज है कि even in the world where we see that people are shifting from sedans to SUV, in Pakistan, even though the SUV market has grown, we have not seen a decreasing trend in sedan markets. So that is also growing. So it could be just that the market is in a growth stage, so you can't exactly tell the trend, whether it's a shifting to sedan or SUV is a new market that has been created and sedan market is going on. Too early to say. I think things will get more clear in the year 2023. So it needs about one more year, because I think abhi filal, the demand situation, if the market is growing and if the GDP keeps on growing by 3 to 4% every year, I think, as I said, 5 lakh gari ki market ho jayegi, and the industry now has enough capacity to cater 500,000. I can understand the new entrants, they need time to ramp up. They are ramping up. It does take time in auto industry. Trust me, it's not easy to produce vehicles. It takes time to ramp up the production. Both Hyundai, Kia, at least I'll say these are the big two players, are ramping up their production, and we need to wait and give them time. They will ramp up. We are also ramping up our production. We are working 24/7 right now. We are working on double shift, overtime. We're trying to ramp up the production. एक हमारी already investment, and I feel bad about that decision, that we had already invested about 5-6 billion rupees for increase in capacity, and because of COVID it has got delayed, or we will be able to deliver more faster right now. But we are working on a daily basis how to increase our capacity.
Thank you. Ali bhai, I recognize that you're a listed company and I respect that. मेरे पास questions बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसे आ रहे हैं which I'm not sure if you can answer or not. So I'll just read one of them out and you decide if it is something you can answer or not. How many units are you targeting to sell in this financial year, and what is your plan for next year?
देखिए, right now तो as I said we've got अच्छा, इसको मैं थोड़ा घुमा के जवाब दे देता हूँ ताकि जिनका जवाब उनको थोड़ा जवाब भी मिल जाए और मेरी जो corporate compliance है वो भी रहे। देखिए our capacity 5,000 units, right? Initially for the first 3 months, because of the market had gone down in 2019-20, we went down on single shift. From November, we've gone up by double shift, and we are working on full capacity. So अब आप खुद calculate कर लें कि if I've got a 65,000 capacity, 3 months I worked on single shift, 4 months I worked on single shift, and remaining 8 months I'm planning to work on double shift. तो आप calculate कर लें. Inshallah, next year that you're saying, we will continue if the demand situation remains the same. But at least I'm seeing very good right now. We'll continue to produce as per full capacity.
Thank you. आपने बड़ी अच्छी तरीके से इसको जो है टैकल किया है. Very good. So another EV question. मैंने आपसे पहले EV के बारे में पूछा था. दूसरी countries में we've seen they've gone for hybrid first and then come into Pakistan. हाइब्रिड यहाँ पे ज्यादातर आपकी इंपोर्ट ही हुई है, आई बिलीव. उसके अंदर आपको लगता है दैट वी मिसिंग दैट कि हम लोग डायरेक्ट ईवी की तरफ जा रहे हैं, और आपने जैसे कहा कि और भी बहुत टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, बट यू थिंक दिस फेज के पहले आप हाइब्रिड पे आए फिर ईवी की तरफ जाएं?
देखिए बाकी कंट्रीज ने किया यही है, राइट, एंड देयर वाज some reason which I can't justify. The government was in some rush to announce EV policy. Now I don't want to comment on that because it could have been announced in AIDP policy which is due in June. Now it has been announced. उसका ordinance, मतलब उस EV policy was so important, उसके लिए ordinance निकाला गया, presidential ordinance. So they must be having some logic to it. But usually, obviously, it's everywhere. There has been ICE and then hybrid and EV. The government has, because while they were discussing EV, we did discuss that why don't we include hybrid in it. They did say that in the AIDP they will give some incentive for hybrid also, new technologies also. So let's wait and see. I don't know what's the results going to come out. We are into discussion with them, but let's see. जो आएगा वो हमें 2-3 महीने में सबको पता चल जाएगा.
Thank you. I have another question asking कि do you see Changan and Proton and the D20 as competition to the Yaris? Sedan sector में जो आई हैं.
I always believe that every competition, okay, like every competitor is very important for us, right? So I take everybody as competition. So we don't take anybody lightly. They all here to do business. We are here to do business. So Chandan obviously have given a very good price in the market. Okay, now it's the consumer to decide, right? Abhi tak to they have not started production. They will produce in May. But I would never say that we don't compete with them. We don't compete. I think every product has its own market value, and we have to keep an eye on every competition. So everybody is important in the market.
I'm getting a lot of questions saying why do you think delivery periods इतने लंबे हैं? Why does it take so long? जबकि it's not historic highs right now, the volumes, and already double shift is also happening. So why is it taking so long to get deliveries, not only for Indus but across for all autos right now?
मैं देखिए इसका एक सिंपल जवाब दे दूं. बिल्कुल ये this is a very valid question. Okay, delivery periods are long enough, and as I said that I have never seen in 20 years so much of excitement and demand in the market, right? And now there are new players also. So देखिए एक तो मैं आपको बताऊं कि this obviously we have always worked on double shift for many years. Then July 19 से जब government ने taxes वगैरह और dollar depreciate हुआ, तो prices went very high and the market really nosedive. तो उस दौरान obviously we have a system where we don't let go our people. We carried our people of double shift, but we were working on single shift. And then but what we were doing is जो normal attrition होती थी हमारे plant में, हम उसको backfill नहीं कर रहे थे. And then came COVID and COVID went close. आपको पता है जून के अंदर या जून में we started and we realized कि यार हमें double shift के लिए तैयार होना चाहिए. अच्छा, when we देखिए एक shift में we need about 1,200 people. So almost 600 people had gone in the 12 months. अगर 50 लोग भी जाते तो 600 लोग हो जाते. We did hire. We started a hiring process. Hiring के बाद very important that we train people. तो वो ट्रेनिंग में जो टाइम लगा उसकी वजह से एटलीस्ट हमें तो ये था कि for 4 months हमें सिंगल शिफ्ट पे रहना पड़ा और फिर डबल शिफ्ट पे आए. अच्छा, फिर एक दूसरा मसला ये आया हमारे साथ कि नवंबर, दिसंबर, जनवरी, फरवरी, ये 4 महीने बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पोर्ट कंजेशन वी हैड लॉट ऑफ production, not lot, but I think we lost about 1500 to 2000 units of production capacity lost because of some shortages and delay in shipment. So लेकिन उसके अलावा भी I personally feel that there is a excitement in the market. हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं इस चीज को करना. I think March, April, May we should be able to reduce the lead time, but I agree the lead times right now are very much right. We've been successful to do it in Yaris. I think अब April, May में deliveries मिलते हैं, जो कि पहले बाकी Corolla I'm saying वो June, July चले गई है, Fortuner भी इसी तरह आई है. तो we are trying our best, इंशाल्लाह इसको भी हम नीचे ले आएंगे, और we are working every day to make sure कि delivery period नीचे आ जाए. But I think it will require at least 3 months more to get things in control.
Ali bhai, I'm getting a lot of comments saying that there are other cars as well जो Toyota globally बनाता है, जो कि आपकी जो competition है उसको बहुत अच्छा challenge दे सकती है, like RAV4 or like Toyota Vitz. So have you guys thought about these, or are you guys planning on bringing something similar in the Pakistani market?
देखिए, we studied all the products. As I said कि अगर लोकलाइजेशन करनी है तो उसका वॉल्यूम चाहिए, ठीक है ना. और जो विड्स की बात की हमने उसको भी स्टडी किया है, एंड फॉर रीजन इट वाज नॉट गेटिंग कंपेटिटिव इन द पाकिस्तान मार्केट. सो राइट नाउ आई थिंक वी हैव नो आंसर टू विड्स और यारिस हैचबैक. राइट नाउ वी हैव दिस यारिस सेडान दैट वी जो यारिस जो सेडान की मार्केट है वो ज्यादा बड़ी है पाकिस्तान में, एंड हैचबैक की छोटी है, तो वी ऑप्टेड फॉर सेडान मार्केट. सो बाकी रैफ वगैरह आई थिंक वो उसके वॉल्यूम्स इतने ज्यादा नहीं है.
अंडरस्टूड, गॉट इट. आपके जो अभी जनवरी के नंबर्स आए हैं उसमें वी हैव सीन दैट देयर हैज बीन अ बिग जंप इन फॉर्च्यूनर एंड जो रिवो है उनके उसमें. तो इज देयर एनी स्पेसिफिक रीजन दैट यू आर अवेयर ऑफ कि इतना कैसे एकदम से डिमांड कैसे बढ़ गई? यूजुअली जो हम लोग अपने देखते थे इन आवर रिसर्च यूज्ड टू सी के इलेक्शंस के टाइम पे जो है एकदम इन गाड़ियों की डिमांड बढ़ जाती है. इस बार ये व्हाट वाज द रीजन इन योर ओपिनियन?
देखिए, ये this is a mystery, but at least I think my analysis may answer this question. देखिए, 2-3 चीजें होगी जिसकी वजह से इन गाड़ियों की डिमांड बढ़ी है, एंड राइटफुली फॉर बोथ रीवो की और फॉर्च्यूनर की डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ी है. 3 रीजन. एक तो देखिए, व्हेन योर इंटरेस्ट रेट्स वर एट 13%, 14% से जब 7% पे आता है, तो द बिगेस्ट इम्पैक्ट ऑन अ मंथली EMI इंटरेस्ट की वजह से comes on these, the higher the loan, the higher the interest. So there has been, like in case of Grande, लोग कहते हैं कि 15-20 हजार रुपए पर महीने की इंस्टॉलमेंट फर्क आ गया, तो इसमें मेरे ख्याल 30-35 हजार का फर्क आया होगा. दूसरी चीज जो मैं फील करता हूं, ओके, जो हुआ वो जो एफ्लुएंट क्लास है पाकिस्तान का, ओके, who travels all around the world did not travel for 1 year, so excess cash flow were available, and people are buying कि चलो एक एडिशनल गाड़ी ले लो. थर्ड जो है, बाय रोड ट्रैवल जो है इन कोविड सिचुएशन बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज हो गई. अगर आप देखें तो बहुत लोगों ने जो है कराची से कहा कि अच्छा, यू वुड सी के आई थिंक बलोचिस्तान की तरफ, अगर मैं फेसबुक पे कभी सोशल मीडिया पे देखूं तो इतने लोग जा रहे हैं, ओके, जो कि बड़ा अमेजिंग है. लोग यहाँ से कराची से ऑल द वे मालम जप्पा जा रहे हैं, कराची से दतिया गली जा रहे हैं, लोग लाहौर से ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, इस्लामाबाद से. तो बाय रोड ट्रैवल बहुत इंक्रीज हो गया, और उसमें आई थिंक ये फॉर्च्यूनर और रीवो की डिमांड इस वजह से भी ज्यादा बढ़ी है.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The next question, Ali bhai, is safety equipment on a car has been on debate for a very long time. पाकिस्तान में थोड़े ऐसे तो कोई एक्सीडेंट्स हुए थे जिसके बाद काफी उन लोगों ने बात की थी about making safety in the car, increasing that. तो आपको लगता है कि लोगों की एपेटाइट है कि अगर आप अपना एयर बैग या ऐसी चीजें सेफ्टी बढ़ा दें तो they will be willing to pay for that? And what is Indus doing towards that? Have you guys looked at it कि airbags बढ़ाएं और कोई safety features गाड़ी में बढ़ाएं?
Indus की तमाम गाड़ियों में dual airbags है. There is not even a single car which doesn't have a dual airbag. Okay, there are other players, okay, who are and obviously इसके ऊपर कल I am giving my statement on ARY also. कल सुबह कोई प्रोग्राम है, उनका भी यही सवाल है. because I'm a PAMA chairman also, so I have to represent the industry. So in this case we have all. In few cases the airbags are not there, and those are I think very limited models. देखिए जो आप कौन से हैं, जो स्मॉल कार्स हैं या इक्का दुक्का आपकी कोई सिडान कार होगी जिसमें एयरबैग्स नहीं है, और जो लाइट कमर्शियल व्हीकल्स है उसमें एयरबैग्स नहीं है. नाउ उसकी दो रीजन है, ठीक है. एक तो ऑब्वियसली जब आप एयरबैग ऐड करेंगे लाइट कमर्शियल व्हीकल में और छोटी गाड़ियों में तो उसकी कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगी. तो ऑब्वियसली दिस इज ए डिसीजन दैट हैज बीन मेड एंड देयर इज नो लॉ इन पाकिस्तान. इवन लाहौर हाई कोर्ट का जो डिसीजन आया है अबाउट दिस एयरबैग्स एंड सेफ्टी, उन्होंने इंस्ट्रक्ट किया है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की आप लॉ बना दें. गवर्नमेंट ऑटोमेटिकली जो है जितने असेंबली उसको फॉलो करेंगे. सिर्फ में ये होता है कि क्योंकि अगर आप एकदम से एयरबैग्स का लॉ बनाते हैं तो जो भी प्रोडक्ट है उसको कुछ 12 से 18 महीने चाहिए होता है टेस्टिंग ट्रायल करने के लिए, तो वो टाइम दे और लॉ बना दे और सारी गाड़ियों में लग जाएगा. बट राइट नाउ स्पीकिंग फॉर द इंडस्ट्री as IMC, so I don't need to even answer the question because all our cars are with dual airbags. Almost all vehicles are with ABS brakes. There are seat belts and all the वो. तो ये मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट भी नहीं है मुल्क की. पहले मुल्क अपना एक वो तो बना लेना कि भाई ये लॉ इन पाकिस्तान में तो ऑटोमेटिकली हर चीज फॉलो हो जाएगी.
सही. उसके बाद आई एम गेटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस रिगार्डिंग द एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द रूपी, दैट द रूपी एप्रिशिएटेड. तो उसके बाद जो है did Indus like look at the prices of their cars after that?
Yeah, I was expecting this question कि अभी तक क्यों नहीं आया. तो अब देखिए मैं आपको इसकी एक चीज बताऊं. The last price increase that IMC did was in April 2020. We are sitting in 21. I'm talking about a price increase because of exchange rate. Obviously उसके बाद obviously minor model change है, उसकी price बढ़ी होगी. अब अच्छा ये लोग ये देखिए ऐसा नहीं होता कि रुपी जो है वो टच किया 168 पे हमने फॉलो कर लिया. देयर आर पॉलिसीज एंड प्रोसीजर. अप्रैल में कहीं मेरा ख्याल है आई रिमेम्बर कुछ फर्स्ट वीक या में प्राइस बढ़ाई गई थी. उसके पहले पूरा एक प्रोसीजर होता है. तो अगर मैं आपको ये कहूं कि आज मेरी प्राइसिंग 162 पे बैठी हुई है तो कोई नहीं मानेगा, राइट. लेकिन उसका एक there is madness to this method, right? Because we have to take last 3 months rate, then discuss internally, then discuss with Toyota, then increase. तो ये ऐसा नहीं होता कि अगर 6 दिन के लिए अगर रुपी जो 168 पे गया वो हमें एब्जॉर्ब करना पड़ता है. तो ये जो 12 रुपए जो कहते हैं ना, ये 12 रुपए नहीं है. हाँ 2 रुपए जरूर है. अच्छा 2 रुपए का अगर मैं प्राइस रिड्यूस करूं, ओके, तो मैंने वो पता ही है बहुत लोगों ने सुना होगा कि प्याज भी खाना और जूते भी खाना, वो एक है पूरी स्टोरी कि जो तो वो होगा कि आपने प्राइस भी कम की होगी जो कि 10-15 हजार रुपए होगी, तो आपने वो भी नुकसान किया है और लोगों के जूते भी अलग पड़ने हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये 12 रुपए का इम्पैक्ट है, ये है 2-2.5 रुपए का इम्पैक्ट. यस है, इट विल गेट रिफ्लेक्टेड इन अ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. ओके 2-2.5 रुपए जो भी इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है, पर वो 2-2.5 रुपए की कीमत कम करके इफ आई डू दैट, ओके, दे विल इट्स ऑलमोस्ट आटे में नमक बराबर है. मतलब गवर्नमेंट से भी गालियां पड़नी है, कस्टमर से भी गालियां पड़नी है.
Ali bhai, I'm getting a lot of questions regarding, I'm not going to name the company, but there have been issues about under invoicing. Would you like to say anything about that? Do you think it impacts your company, or on behalf of the auto sector, if you would like to say something on that?
Okay, I would avoid giving because everybody knows किस company की बात हो रही है, but I would avoid this question because I think this is a issue that has come in media. I would just say that okay, we need, everybody should do clean business, okay, and if they are doing, they should not do, and if they are not doing, okay, best of luck. But I think it should be a fair competition because इसमें मुल्क को नुकसान हो. देखिए हमें जिस मुल्क देखिए मैं I'm sorry, I'm too nationalist, maybe I'm इस मामले में शायद वो मैं बिजनेसमैन नहीं हूँ when it comes to the country, right? कि whatever we are is because of this country. We should not hurt this country. बस अगर वो कर रहे हैं, I don't know कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, I don't want to comment, बस कर रहे हैं तो मुल्क को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाना चाहिए. एंड उसको हम ये नहीं कह सकते हैं कि यार कंज्यूमर को फायदा दे रहे हैं, मुल्क को नुकसान दे रहे हैं, तो कुछ चोरी होती है. But I can't comment, I can't say कि भाई वो कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे. Only I think they can confirm this, and SBR can confirm.
Thank you. Another question I'm getting, this is regarding the auto policy 16 to 21. The question is, there is a 5-year CKD duty concession for the new entrants. Is this concession from the time the company rolls out its first car, or is it 5 years for each model?
No, it is 5 years or 2000 June 2026, whichever comes earlier.
Okay, got it. Thank you. आपकी फिर expansion के ऊपर questions काफी ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं. Again, आप देखें कि if you would be able to answer this or not. But the questions are: do you see any expansion coming, capacity expansion coming in Q4? If not, then are there any plans of expanding your capacity?
I think इसमें I've already answered. We have already invested into the capacity expansion and we've got delayed. ये तो if you see ये तो एक साल पहले मैंने I think इसको announce भी कर दिया था, मीडिया में आ चुका है कि from 65 to 66,000 we have invested to go to 76,000. वो because COVID situation delay हो गया है, वो जो engineers है travel नहीं कर सकते, ये नहीं सकते, तो अब this will kick into 22 sometime. वो delay हो गया है because even once we start rolling out, it takes about 12 months. So I would say 22 later part में जाके capacity increase होगी. Till then we have to do all Saturdays working and make all holidays working. Hopefully, if the market continues like this, and I hope it does.
Inshallah. उसके बाद एक और question आ रहा है which you have already answered a bit but I'll say the question. There seems to be a lack of focus on established players apart from Suzuki on smaller segment, lower price cars. Why is that the case?
नहीं, आप क्यों कह रहे हैं? Kia has bought in Picanto.
जी.
And Changan has bought in small cars. Then एक Alpha local company है, उन्होंने कोई Bravo या Alpha के नाम से गाड़ी लेके आए. So I think we should not say this. I think there are players. I think Picanto is a good car. Then MG have just announced कि वो under 2 million गाड़ी लेके आएंगे. Changan की अपनी गाड़ी है. So कोई V2 नाम की एक गाड़ी है शायद, I don't remember. So there are cars.
Okay, thank you. Next question is the rural demand outpacing the urban demand?
देखिए, rural and urban demand has always been about half and half in Pakistan. जब आपकी agriculture income बहुत अच्छी हो जाती है तो ये थोड़ा बढ़ जाती है. But it's almost the same, it's जब आपके 5 staple crops हैं, इसकी जो cash outlay होती है उस time पे किसी month में बढ़ जाते हैं. But if you make it a weighted average, I think it's almost equal.
Okay, thank you.
Urban demand increase than the rural demand of the future because people who get affluent start moving to Lahore and Karachi and big cities.
Got it. There's another question that imported used cars are re-entering the market. Do you see it as an emerging threat for Indus?
Again, I see any build-up car coming into Pakistan as a threat to the nation. When either we produce or the new entrants produce, okay, they create jobs, they save foreign exchange. Whether if you come with a new car or a used car, okay, they are killing jobs in Pakistan. So it's not about threat to us or to new entrants, forget that. It is a threat to the country. हर गाड़ी जो पाकिस्तान में बनती है, हर एक गाड़ी के पीछे 6 नौकरियां लगी हुई हैं. हर गाड़ी के पीछे. अब now one used car coming in means वो 6 नौकरियां या तो गई या additional आएगी नहीं. That's simple as that.
Perfect. आपसे पहले जब सुनील बात कर रहे थे, उन्होंने कहा कि जी यूज्ड गाड़ियां हमारे पास 10 दिन में बिक जाती हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे इतनी शॉर्टेज है. तो आपको कभी ऐसा लगता है कि with Toyota we've always seen मजाक होता है कि जितने की गाड़ी लोगे 5 साल के बाद उतने की बेचोगे, which is unfortunate क्योंकि डेप्रिसिएशन वगैरह हो रही है. लेकिन आपको लगता है कि कभी आप लोगों को एक्चुअली अपनी आपकी पुरानी गाड़ियां एज अ थ्रेट आ जाती हैं कि लोग नई लेने की जगह पुरानी पे चले जाते हैं?
I don't think so. देखिए, ये डोमेस्टिक कार सेल्स जो है या यूज कार्स का, ये तो वर्ल्ड वाइड होती है ना, मतलब
जी
how the market grows, right? कि कोई यूज गाड़ी खरीद रहा है तो कोई नई गाड़ी खरीद रहा है, कल जो यूज गाड़ी जिसने खरीदी थी वो उसको थर्ड हैंड पे बेचता है, वो खुद नई गाड़ी पे मूव करता है। तो इट्स लाइक बल्कि उल्टा सवाल किया आपने, क्योंकि अगर फर्ज करें अगर गाड़ी की कीमत ज्यादा है तो बंदा यूज कार के बदले में न्यू कार लेगा ना। It's a reverse thing. If the value was very less, then why would then it would be कि वो threat बन जाता है कि इतनी सस्ती है, चलो यार यूज गाड़ी चला रहा हूँ। Because the gap between the you and new, I think it's a reverse question. But anyway, it's every market phenomena.
थैंक यू कमिंग बैक जी प्लीज
One last question because I didn't need to leave. I think I was asked for 30 minutes. I need to leave from podcasting means I've got and I will get stuck in traffic. And if I had taken this interview from the car, that could have saved me all the traffic. I would have been able to beat the traffic.
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर टेकिंग आउट द टाइम। तो चले मैं एक आखिरी जो है वो उस पे बात कर लेता हूँ ईवी के ऊपर। अगेन यू थिंक पाकिस्तान इज प्रिपेयर्ड कि पाकिस्तान ईवी पुश के लिए जाए? डू वी हैव द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड रियली द लोगों के पास एपेटाइट है ईवी के लिए, यू थिंक?
I think इसको लास्ट क्वेश्चन ना करेंगे, इसको मैं जवाब दे चुका हूँ। इफ देयर इज सम क्वेश्चन कि जिसके ऊपर आई थिंक व्हिच इज मैं भी देख रहा हूँ क्वेश्चंस। एक क्वेश्चन अंडर बिकम लिविंग सेंटर, ये फिर जवाब आ गया। इज बिग थ्री स्टिल बिग थ्री? ठीक है, at the time say I as I अभी तक आपको पता चल गया होगा कि for me all our competition are equally respectable and I wish them best of luck. So it's not that कि big three, और ये big three नहीं, ये आजकल सोशल मीडिया ने बना दिया। Nobody is big, जी, everybody is very small. When you are very small, you are at the mercy of your customer. I think all ref वाली बात भी हो गई। I think almost. I think EV वाली बात I think I've answered. That's why I'm saying कि वो it's
जी
repeat. ये स्क्रैप पॉलिसी इज इंटरेस्टिंग वन। देखिए स्क्रैप पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए इस मुल्क के अंदर, यही ये ईवी से कनेक्टेड है। जो ईवी की पॉलिसी जब गवर्नमेंट कहती है ना कि ये हमने इसको इन्वायरमेंट के लिए किया है, तो पहले तो स्क्रैप पॉलिसी लानी चाहिए। हर दुनिया में जो है आफ्टर 10 ईयर जो है वो गाड़ियां जो है वो शहरों से बाहर निकल जाती है। तो हमारी अगर ये मजदा बसें जो चल रही है, एक्चुअली तो ये प्रॉब्लम है, हमारी पुरानी पुरानी गाड़ियां चल रही है जो कि वो प्रॉब्लम है। इट्स नॉट अबाउट ईवी, अबाउट इन्वायरमेंट। The environment is because of the old policy. So I think we have jumped to the last step rather than going step by step. So I think that's how our country is. But again, we should have taken small steps towards the greater objective. So we went to the greater objective without having any in between steps.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ali Bhai, for your time and your answers today. I'm sure it's been very beneficial for all of us, and I'm sure it's been very, very beneficial for all the participants as well. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Allah
Thank you.
Hafiz.
Take care. Allah Hafiz. So everyone else on the call, we have Muhammad Faisal joining us. I'm just going to check if he's already joined. We thought that it would be good कि एक जो है one of the market leaders को लेकर आया जाए, और फिर उसके बाद जो नए entrants हैं, जो एक क्वेश्चन आया हुआ था, इस बिग थ्री द बिग थ्री स्टिल द बिग थ्री, तो उसमें हम किया कि जो CEO है मोहम्मद फैसल, he is joining us. I'm just checking if he has already joined us. If you could just give me a moment, please. We ended a bit sooner with Ali Bhai than expected. So because of that, I think Faisal Bhai is just joining us. He's just about to join us. In the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions for Kia, please go ahead and send it in the chat. So then we can start off right after he's done with that, with his talk. He's just joining us in 2 minutes. Ji, so he's just joining in. Apologies for the delay. He's just messaged that he's logging in right now. Assalamualaikum Faisal bhai.
Waalaikum, क्या हाल है?
Allah ka shukar hai. How are you doing? Thank you so much for taking out the time to join us today, and thank you for joining us earlier than we had asked you to. I appreciate you taking out the time today.
नहीं, my pleasure.
Thank you. So, Faisal bhai, as we discussed, we would appreciate if you can talk a little bit about the sector as a whole, the auto sector, the growth outlook, the competition, and what we'll do is we'll first request you to talk a little bit about these things, and then we'll ask our participants to send in their messages, which I will then read out to you. And I understand that your parent company is a listed company, so I will request everyone to keep that in mind while asking you questions. Or आपको जो question लगे that it is not suitable to answer, please go ahead and feel free to let us know that.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to come on this platform and talk about the sector. First of all, I'll just talk about what is happening in the sector. Let me give you a perspective of the past a little bit. 2012 was the year when the auto market reached a level of 233,000 units. After that, 2013 and 14, there was a dip. And the dip was so significant that it brought the market down to 169,000 unit level. 2 years of dip, which was around 27%, there was again a trajectory. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 4 consecutive years, there was upward trajectory, and as high as, I would say, 100%. So the volumes went up from 233,000 units to 333,000 units. And that is the level I've never seen so far going back to that level or even crossing those levels. So 333 was the kind of benchmark we have seen so far. And after that, 2018, which was the year, 333,000 units, the market went down and went down by 60+% up until June 2020. So June 2020 market closed at 134,000 units, including both the new CKD and used CBUs. Like when I say new CKD means CKD as well as new CBUs and used CBUs. The new CBUs volume were pretty low. The significant chunk was contributed by CKD operations and a sizable volume in the past. When I say in the past, 2018 was the year when the market touched 333,000 units level. The quantity or the contribution of the used car was around 70,000 units, which was as high as I would say 20% of the total volume size. After that, 2020, we've seen so far 134,000 units market. I think it is the lowest number I've seen so far, right from 2012. And since it's a low base compared to 333,000 units of high volume, we initially did not envisage that this recovery will be very soon and very, very quick. But since the base was very low, 2 consecutive years of volume going down, and because of COVID, 3 months, there was no activity. So it was to happen that the market will bounce back and the volumes will go up. So now this is the year, I would say 2020, 2021, I expect the market to grow by around 60+%, 64, 65%. In this growth, I would like to say something. It was not driven by the existing incumbent OEMs primarily. Obviously, there was low base of 134,000 units, so it had to pick up in any case. The beneficiaries primarily, I would say, are the new entrants, and they are the ones who are driving the market, because the kind of options have been offered so far by the new entrants like Kia, like Hyundai, other players which are Chinese primarily. A lot is happening in Pakistan in terms of auto sector, and a lot of new options are being offered to the market, to the consumers. And if I were to summarize something at this stage, I would say auto policy 2016-2021 actually gave options and opportunities to the consumers, because the new entrants who enter the market, they knew that consumers were expecting a lot from them. And if the new entrants did not offer them the value for money products or the specs they wanted them to be offered by the new entrants, I think they would have been disappointed big time. So auto policy was very attractive, very lucrative in terms of bringing in competition in Pakistan market. We took the advantage of that, and we introduced products in those segments or those sectors of auto sector, which we believe were not tapped before that much, or probably people were kind of very, very adamant, or I would say very skeptical about their growth. They were not very, very confident that the people will move away from sedan to SUV segment. And when Kia introduced SUV in the market, an overwhelming response received, and that could clearly state that people were actually looking for something very attractive, not necessarily sedan, but something which they call value for money, good quality product, and better specs.
Perfect. Thank you, Mohammed Bhai. I know, when you guys were launching and you guys started, none of my analysts or any analysts I covered, none of them expected the kind of numbers that have been coming out of you guys. And it's been a surprise for everyone. Were you guys also surprised by the kind of response that you've gotten? And mashallah, I'm hearing great things about the new launch as well. So are you guys also surprised by this kind of a response?
Yes, yes. Frankly speaking, we were all surprised by the kind of response we had gotten from the market. Especially, I would say the first launch, as CKD was Sportage. We thought it's a very pricey car, and not many people will buy this product. But very unusual behavior of Pakistani consumers, I would say. When we recovered from COVID, like when lockdown was finished and we came back to normal, we thought the economy segment would be the first one to pick up. But that was quite surprising to know that economy segment or 1000cc segment was not recovering that much. Rather, the segment which was very price, I would say very pricey, was growing rapidly. And my take on that is that the people who were hit hard by COVID were not very easy to buy products like non essential products, like luxury products. And car was considered to be, I still considered to be a luxury product. It's not essential. So the people who had money, who were not impacted a lot by COVID or any kind of pandemic, and they had money to put in different avenues like real estate, or I would say stock exchange, or I would say foreign exchange or gold, or other lucrative options. Car sector was considered to be one of the avenues where they could. One is a genuine buyer, the other one is investor. I feel that the people who had enough money and they wanted to make money out of that, car segment or auto sector was one segment where they could park money and make money out of it. So yes, we were surprised by the response, and what I've seen so far is if you give an offer opportunity to the consumer and create a niche for you, people will respond to that.
Okay, thank you. Talking about that, what I wanted to know, what are you guys doing about the capacity issues? Mashallah, response has been so well. I was actually talking to someone over the weekend, and I said that I was thinking of getting it, but I heard your new car, but I heard that the wait is till June. He said you're talking about yesterday's news now call, and it's July now. So mashallah, it's with such a long waiting time. Are you guys looking at capacity expansion? I know you guys are on double shift already. Like, is there something in the plans in the future, inshallah?
Look, the kind of capacity we have as we speak, it is as big as 60,000 plus units on a double shift basis. Right from the day one when we install our plant, we had that thing in mind at the time of planning, that we should put up a facility, we should take care of the volume for at least 5 years. And we initially did not expect that very soon we will cross that 50,000 units mark. And we see that happening very soon, inshallah. Yes, for capacity, the one thing is the plant and machinery and equipment. The other thing is that you need people to produce cars. The third thing is that you need enough quantity of kits that you are able to produce and deliver to the market. So, and auto is not something that if you decide something, say tomorrow morning, you can do it very quickly. It requires at least 3 to 6 months of time to come to that point where you are able to reach a level you can call, okay, this is what I want to be at. So say today, if I decide to increase my capacity or do debottlenecking, say for example, or hire people, develop their skills so that they are able to produce cars online, or probably I have to arrange CKD kits, enough CKD kits so that I'm able to deliver to the customers. It requires 3 to 6 months time to make corrections in your actions. And when we started off in 20 June, I would say, post lockdown situation, we had no clue that very soon we'll have to order more kits. And the first month, June, when we saw the growth, we thought that this is going to continue to happen going forward month on month. And that's why we increased placing orders on Kia on a monthly basis, and we drastically improved our volumes, the order that we placed with them. So yes, we are capable to produce 60,000 plus cars on an annual basis on a double shift capacity utilization. But yes, the constraint becomes the availability of kits. And as I said, if you have to correct your action, it takes 3 to 6 months to correct that. What I see now is we are well placed in terms of capacity utilization. We are running on double shift right from the 1st of December. We are continuing to do that. We are improving our efficiency every passing day. Our supply constraints are easing out. The kind of quantities we were delivered in the last 2-3 months, I believe going forward, the quantity will improve. We have enough manpower to produce as many cars as we could every 16 hours, 8 hour shift I'm talking about. So I would say supply will not be, or production will not be a constraint, keeping in view the demand that we have. Right now, as you said, we are delivering sportage, I would say. Uh, if somebody books today in February, we are delivering, say, April, May. Uh, and in case of Sorrento, which we recently launched, our starting month is May. So May, June was initial booking, and now June, July is the latest that we are offering. Because this product again surprised us, like Sportage surprised us, overwhelming response, and uh, we kind of assessed this situation the very first day when we started pre-booking of the car, that we don't want to miss out on the commitment, and we don't want to overcommit also to the customer, because that creates a negativity in the market. So we should be upfront. If somebody has to book a car, he should consciously book the car, keeping in view that the delivery month is going to be May, June, or June, July. So yes, we are equipped to serve the customers. Our delivery time is reducing every passing month, and I hope, inshallah, by June we will be in a better shape.
Um, Thank you for that. Next question is, what kind of challenges are there to localization in Pakistan? आपकी कितनी localization में challenges क्या है और कितनी localize हो चुकी है अभी तक? What percentage you would say?
I would not be able to share the percentage, but I can give you some perspective about localization. Look, localization is essential. Without localization, we cannot survive. It's not a choice that we have, though we have a choice by way of tariff, because government does not impose mandatory localization upon you. It has differentiated the tariff in such a way that if a part which is capable of being localized in Pakistan, if we choose to import from outside, we have to pay higher rate of duty. And given the foreign exchange scenario we have, luckily for last couple of months, our exchange rate has appreciated to dollar, as opposed to 168 is now currently at 158, 159 level. It is pretty stable, and it is actually good for the sector, because if the exchange is stable, the chances of price increase is very, very bleak. I would say there's no chance of price increases, and customer also has faith in the price, and if he makes a buying decision today, or he makes a buying decision 2 months from now, he is okay with that, because he's not worried about the price increases. So if you don't localize, and if the situation is such in the market that Pak rupees keeps devaluing to US dollar, uh, we will be bleeding big time, and we will not be competitive post 5 years of concessionary regime when it becomes over, because this concession is given to us for 5 years. 5 years from now, for every variant that we launch, if we are not able to localize enough, the foreign exchange, the freight, these two things are going to wipe us out. So localization is essential. We have started localizing, because let me share with you one perspective. We did not do everything at the same time. So when we started off, the kind of challenges we had were, one, we have to establish ourselves in Pakistan market as a new entrant. Second thing, we should deliver quality products. Third thing, we should offer value for money products. And number four, we should have enough presence pan Pakistan in terms of our network, that whoever drives our cars on the road is able to have its service wherever he wants, wherever he drives to. So these were the four big, I would say, priority items. And the localization was the fifth one, because in terms of priority, establishing brand, introducing ourselves, stabilizing ourselves, value for money product, taking care of our customers, these are primary things. Localization is important from bottom line point of view, from making sure that we don't keep increasing the prices, But in our priority list, this was not the top priority. It was, I would say, fifth priority. But now the fifth priority item has come up. So entire focus of ours now is on localization, because we've accomplished initially what we thought for ourselves to be accomplished in terms of brand establishment, in terms of customer-centric approach, in terms of our geographic presence, because today we have got 32 strong dealers across Pakistan. In 18 cities we are present. From Karachi to Peshawar, if you go by road, in every city, Karachi, Hyderabad, Rahim Ya Khan, DG Khan, Multan, Faisalabad, Sargoda, Lahore, Islamabad, Chakwal, everywhere you go, Pindi, Abbottabad, Peshawar, you will find us there everywhere. And that's the confidence is given to the customers that if they have some issue in the car or they want the car to be serviced, they can park at any of our showrooms on the way. Now, the priority is localization, and localization is now very close to our heart. We have an approach towards localization which is two-pronged strategy. One is outsource the parts to the existing vendors who are already providing or supplying parts to the existing incumbent OEMs. The second approach is to have our in-house local parts operations. So we are working on both the strategies. The parts which require technical know-how or collaboration, it is at times very difficult for a supplier who's already collaborated with a Japanese vendor to collaborate with a Korean vendor because of probably conflict of interest situation. But we have identified the suppliers where there's no collaboration required, and probably by the use of drawings, you are able to have the parts produced by them, existing vendors supplying parts to the existing OEMs. The other approaches where there's a technical collaboration required, we came up and we collaborated with the Korean vendors, and we set up our own local parts facilities within Kia premises at Port Qasim. So we are very aggressive on localization, and I believe before the end of the concessionary period, which I'm saying 4 years from now, because we started off our operations on July 2019. So I would say a year and 3.5 years from now or 4 years from now, I think we should be able to achieve the localization level which all existing OEMs have already been able to achieve on their existing products.
Great. Thank you so much for that. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding specific models, and I'm aware that that might be a tricky question for you to answer. But I guess, mashallah, with the great response you guys have been getting, we can expect more models being introduced in Pakistan soon.
Correct. So as we speak, we have got 3 CKD models and 1 CBU model. So Sportage, which is 2000cc SUV, Picanto, which is 1000cc hatchback, and Sorrento, which is 2.4/3.5 liter SUV, 7-seater. We have introduced these 3 products as CKD. We have introduced Carnival, which used to be called Grand Carnival in the past. Now currently it is called Carnival. It's 11-seater grand utility vehicle, which we introduced as our first product in Pakistan market way back in June 2018. That was the last generation model that we had launched. Recently in December, we launched its latest generation, and it is the second country, Pakistan is the second country in which this 4th generation, the latest generation Carnival was launched. Though it is a CPU product, but we have gotten an overwhelming response to the product which is being offered in Pakistan market, because in Pakistan, there's no such car as Carnival, which provides that kind of powerful engine, the value for money, and the luxury in terms of the interior it has, in terms of seating capacity it has. So at this price point, this is the best value customer is getting. Now we have say June 2021 as we speak, though there are 2 different discussions being happening on that front, whether the policy period will end on June 2021. Any models launched by June 2021, there's no doubt about it, that will be attracting the 5-year concessionary period. There's no doubt about it, because that's the policy, and it's pretty much clear to everyone. But there's another discussion going on these days, that there's a possibility that if a product that you plan to launch say post June 2021. Though policy will expire on June 2021, but the concessions will continue to accrue to the enterprises that they launch the product by on or before June 2021 for 5 years from the date of their respective launches. So one perspective is that everything launched by June 2021 will attract 5-year concessionary period. Another approach is anything which is part of a business plan that you submit to the government of Pakistan, and government of Pakistan approves that business plan, you are able to launch a product on or before June 2026. The downside to that is this is the positive side, that you can launch anything beyond June 2021 up until June 2026. But the downside to that is that the maximum concession that is available to any enterprise will expire by June 2026. So meaning thereby, if you launch anything in 2023, your concessionary period for that particular model or variant will be for 3 years only, and not for period beyond that. So whoever does that will be able to launch a product, but the concessionary period will be lesser than 5 years. But this is a debate going on as we speak. So our target is, as a base case, our target is to launch everything what we have planned so far, as well as there are some other plans that we are talking about, which we initially did not plan to launch the product I'm talking about because of the time constraints. We have got 2 other models that we are planning to launch by June 2020.
That's exciting news. Usually, coming on to the next question, usually, when we get numbers of the monthly sales, it has a small note in the end saying excluding Kia. So there's a question that I'm aware you're not part of PAMA, but are you guys considering, releasing official numbers monthly?
Look, probably this is not the right time. I understand that the investor community is very curious about that. Everyone is interested in Kia's numbers because these are the numbers which are not publicly available. But I can tell you 2 things. One, there's no plan as we speak to become part of PAMA, and there are a lot of reasons which I will call, say, personal reasons. There's nothing wrong about PAMA. It's not that we don't want to be part of them, but we believe that as of today, as we speak, that's not going to be very, I would say it's not going to be very value added for us to become part of them, because there are certain things which we would like to do without being part of PAMA as a neutral party, as a new entrant. And in certain things, the existing OEMs and new entrants have common objectives or goals to achieve while negotiating with governments on the tariffs and the policy framework, I would say. But there are certain things where we have kind of conflict of interest. And if we are part of PAMA as new entrant and there are existing OEMs already there in PAMA, I see a friction between us and them. So there's no point in becoming part of them. There's nothing wrong about PAMA. They're doing a fantastic job. The association is driven by existing OEMs, well established in Pakistan, as well as some new entrants who become part of them. But Kia, we believe that probably this is not the time that we should associate ourselves with PAMA, because we don't see the kind of value which we could derive from them. Our numbers are very attractive, I would say. The people who are aware of our December and January numbers, and proudly we have beaten Honda in 2 consecutive months, in December and January, in terms of our volume, in terms of market share.
Talking about that, over the weekend, I was looking at an article which said 1 gone, 2 to go. And it was obviously referring to you guys beating Honda. Coming on to another question, this guy would like to congratulate you on getting better numbers in Honda. And his question is, why is Kia bringing in older generation of vehicles in Pakistan? He says, for example, Sportage has a new shape abroad. Picanto is also an older generation. Sorento is also an older generation. Don't you think this will help the Chinese, your Chinese competitors, bringing in newer technology and newer shape of the car to Pakistan?
Look, it's very easy to say, and I respect the opinion, and I appreciate that he thanked and congratulated us on our success so far, though it's only the beginning, and I think miles to go. So I think the perception about especially Sorrento in the market is that we deliberately brought an older generation, third generation Sorrento as opposed to fourth generation Sorrento. In case of Picanto, yes, we brought one generation older than the latest generation Picanto. And there are two reasons. There are specific reasons associated with that. So Sportage, let me handle Sportage first. Sportage, when we launched, that was the latest generation Sportage that we brought in Pakistan. The latest generation Sportage has not been launched anywhere in the world, as far as I know. First, yes, the pictures have been revealed. Probably in one market, probably in Korea, they are going to launch it in April, I would say. But so far, it has not been. As far as I am concerned, as far as my knowledge is concerned, the latest generation Sportage has not been launched in Pakistan. We launched Sportage in 2019 July, and when we launched, it was the latest generation of Sportage available. Answer to the first question, the first part of the question. Picanto, the reason why we had to bring one generation older Picanto was because the new generation Picanto was very expensive. And if we had introduced that in Pakistan market, considering the people who are very sensitive about pricing of cars, especially the entry level car, which is 600cc car, 800cc car, 1000cc car, they will not appreciate that. Probably that will be beyond their range, and there will be a lot of options available in other bigger size hatchbacks or sedans, I would say. So it would not have been a wise move to launch a latest generation Picanto 1000cc and making it pricey. People who have to buy that kind of product are very price sensitive. So what we believe is that the kind of product we have offered in the market, though it is one generation older, but in terms of styling, in terms of its workmanship, in terms of its quality, in terms of value for money, I would say 1000cc car in Pakistan is truly auto transmission car that is offered in Pakistan market at this price point. Initially, it was expensive to Suzuki, but recent price hike of Suzuki has made it more, I would say, attractive for consumers who want to drive a 1000cc car. Whoever has driven this car is appreciative of the quality, the workmanship, the features, and the performance and the value that we are charging for the car. The third thing which I would talk about is Sorrento. I just a few minutes ago I talked about the interpretation of the policy framework. The kind of interpretation we were given initially about the auto policy framework was that any models launched on or before June 2021 will be given 5-year concessionary period. Anything which goes beyond that period will not attract any duty concessions. And all our planning and preparation for the launches was supercharged in terms of speed and selection of models because we did not want to miss the boat. If we had known that there's interpretation difference, there's a difference on the interpretation, probably we could have delayed it and brought the fourth generation Sorrento. But the catch is, if we had not launched third generation Sorrento today, we could not have introduced anything for at least next 2 years in this particular category, because Sorrento launched in the global market, only 3 countries the product has been launched so far, and that too in left-hand drive, not available in right-hand drive. First thing. Second thing, by the time it is available in the form of kit in Pakistan, it will be probably 2 years, a year and a half from the day it is launched in global market. So meaning thereby, if it is launched in global market in January 2021, so it would not be available for Pakistan, that generation car, up until end of 2023, I would say. So there were 2 choices, whether we wait for 2023 and launch something, or probably miss the boat, or we launch something right now and keep our doors open for the 4th generation Sorrento to be launched in Pakistan market in future. So I would say our strategy was very clear. We should do something now. We should not wait for 2 years from now, and offer to consumers something which is very exciting in terms of power, in terms of specification, in terms of value for money. Uh, so, so what we have offered so far in terms of Sorento, though it is third generation Sorento, but the price is very attractive. The features that we've offered in this particular product are superior to its competition, and whoever has driven this car, especially the 3.5 liter V6 engine, I think you don't have to convince him. He is already sold on that product. So we have given consumers experience, we have consumers value for money product, and the features and options which were not available in this particular segment. So I'm sure my answer to this question will clarify our strategy.
Thank you. Another question that I've gotten is that it is being observed that there are a lot of investors who are holding booking slots for Sorento and Sportage, and depriving the genuine users. So is Kia planning or Lucky Motors planning anything like Changan type strategy to avoid investors from getting in the car and helping the genuine buyers buy it?
Look, we are pro genuine consumers, and we are anti investor primarily, because we want our cars to be seen on the roads driving, right? People driving the cars, not parking at different spaces like used car showrooms. We don't like that. And our thinking has always been that the car should reach consumers' hands as early as possible, and we see them running on the roads of Pakistan and hitting roads of Pakistan. So our thinking is that we should not stop bookings. This is, look, I've seen these practices done by a lot of players in the past also. You open up the booking, you close the booking. When you open up the booking, the people in the line will be the ones who want to make money initially. Always, it happens. The serious buyer takes time. He would see the car first, then he'll bring his family again, then he will test drive the car, then probably think 2-3 times, and then he will make a buying decision. A genuine customer takes time. At times, a customer has already done enough research before the launch that he, in any case, has to buy the car. So there are two types of consumer. One who is to drive the car. The other one who wants to make money and sell the car to the person who is in haste. He wants to buy as quickly as possible by paying extra amount to buy the car and doesn't want to be in the queue. Our approach is always customer centric, consumer centric. But we believe that stopping booking is also not going to help consumers, because the one who wants to book the car and he missed the boat probably first day or second day, and a lot of cars were booked by the people who did not want to drive the car but want to sell the car subsequently. We can't gauge day one that who's the genuine buyer and who's an investor until we get to know from the patterns of the bookings that he is the guy who's not here for driving the car. So we can't gauge right from the day one. But what we do is, and that is what I'm proud of, and I will share with you the practices that we have introduced in the market, and I'm proud of those practices that we introduced, that we keep filtering the database. We keep checking after receiving of the order, who's the genuine buyer and who's the investor. And we try and administratively manage in a way that the ones who are genuine buyers, probably even late in the day, book the car, probably will be considered to be given the car as early as possible and not penalize them, because probably they took time to make decision, but they are the ones who genuinely want to drive the car. So our priority will always be to give or prioritize cars to those who want to drive the cars. And obviously you do not have a crystal ball that you can gauge very easily to start with, that the buyer who's booked the car is a buyer or he is an investor. But obviously the patterns subsequently establish those things, and we administratively manage the deliveries of the car in that way. So our objective is to see the cars on the roads, hitting Pakistan's roads everywhere. The practices that we've started, and I am sure people are appreciative of that. And that's the reason why I would say when Sorrento was launched, there was encouraging, overwhelming response. The first thing is that people are aware that when they book the car, that we don't stop the booking first. So we give everyone equal chance. So there's no discrimination first. Second thing is when we start booking and people book the car by paying a partial amount, which we introduced a 2.5 million rupees for Sorrento booking. If somebody books the car by paying 2.5 million rupees and we book the car, and say, for example, due to any unforeseen situation because of currency fluctuation, or I would say anything that happens whereby we have to increase the price and we have no other choice, we will give them a time period, a reasonable window for them to be able to arrange money and make the rest of the payment, and their price will not go up. So that's the second thing which we introduced in the market, and I can confirm to you that we did not increase the price like this. We gave them a window, and only once we increased the price, and that too was not because of currency devaluation. When we started booking of our Sportage, our introductory price we couldn't maintain for long for all-wheel drive, and we had to increase it to the revised price, which was already known to the consumer that the revised price will be higher. The revised price was increased, and that price was maintained throughout, right from the day one when we started booking of Sportage in July 2019 till today. We are in 2021 February. We have not increased the price of our cars, except for one car, which was Kia Picanto 1.0 liter automatic transmission, for which we had to increase the price by 50,000 rupees. Otherwise, Picanto manual transmission, Sportage, Alpha, front wheel drive, all wheel drive, we've maintained the prices. So we have not increased the prices irrespective of how currency behaved. Though today there's no reason why one should increase the price because currency is favorable, but even the currency was not favorable, we did not increase the price. Third thing which I would say is that the product that we are offering to the market are value for money. A customer can relate to the value that he's paying for the specs that are being offered and the kind of performance of the car that we are offering.
Thank you. Again, Mohammed Bhai, dekh le if you can answer this or not. But I'm being asked that there have been news about Lucky Motors introducing another brand in the market as well. So would that be also introduced before June 2021?
Yes, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you. Uske baad, the next question is, keeping in view that the reemergence of COVID expected even next year and the issues that have been coming up with the port congestion, which have led to difficulties in parts procurement, wouldn't it make sense to switch towards localization sooner? I know you've already covered it, lekin uske baad mujhe question aaya, so that's why I'm asking you.
So look, localization takes a lot of time. It's not like you decide today that I want to localize this part and it happens in 3 months or 6 months. It takes time. For parts which require technical knowledge transfer, you need to transfer the knowledge, then you develop the part locally. The parts which require, the parts that do not require knowledge transfer, technical knowledge, know-how, they just require drawing and you develop part. It also requires time to do that. So you need to develop part first. Then the sample that you produced, you have to send it back to Korea, for example, to the vendor for evaluation. Once the vendor okays it, then you are able to localize that part. And that too requires time, because when you decide to localize that part and you have given a go-ahead by Kia and the vendor, there's a time for the deletion of that part from the kit, the removal of part from the kit. So obviously, as I said, any action that you take requires correction time of say 3 to 6 months. So yes, we are for localization and we are doing everything to make sure that our supply chain is uninterrupted. We know the port congestions issues. We know the freight cost going up significantly higher, 4 times to 6 times compared to what was the original freight of a 40 feet container, for example. Keeping in view the global supply chain issues and the cost associated with that, and as I said, exchange devaluation and the and the economies that you get by localizing, it makes perfect sense to localize as early as possible. We are working on that direction. But yes, it's not very easy to do that, like in the blink of an eye. It takes time. So I would say we are for localization, and we'll keep reducing our kit quantity and the value.
Thank you. Another question I have over here is that there are so many new entrants that have come in. How is the labor? Is the skilled labor force easy to find?
Luckily, yes. Luckily, we are in Karachi, and Karachi is the city where all major automakers are situated. So Toyota, not Honda, Toyota, Suzuki, Nissan, Changan, Master, Al-Hajj, FAW, now Proton. All these players are based out of Karachi, including ourselves. Uh, the major players which are operating from the northern part of Pakistan, especially Lahore or Faisalabad, are Honda and Hyundai. These are two major players. There are other Chinese players also like MG. They are also operating from Lahore. So Karachi and Lahore are the two cities where the OEMs are based out of. And we have got the advantage of being in Karachi because the big players are based out of Karachi, and it's very easy to identify and find out the skilled workforce. Yes, you require time for them to be trained as per the mindset of training of Kia, for example, because every OEM has its own way and approach to produce cars. Cars are produced almost the same way, but the way they approach is probably a little different. The quality standards are different. The automation is different. But yes, the people are available, and we take them through our training program, especially the fresh ones. But we have a blend of both. We hire fresh people, we train them, educate them. They are routed through our lines on the production floor. But there are also people who we hire them from other OEMs who have got skills, and not only other OEMs in Pakistan. There are other people who are Pakistanis who left Pakistan and working for, say, Middle East or other countries with automakers associated for the past many years. They want to come back to Pakistan because in the past, when situation wasn't good, a lot of people were available to be relocated to Pakistan, and we attracted those people as well. So I would say for Pakistan, we have people available who have enough skills to produce cars.
Thank you. Another question that I'm getting is that with rates so high these days, the financing rates, do you guys keep a book of how many cars are being bought on cash and how many are bank financed?
Yes. I would say currently around 30 to 35% of the cars are booked by way of financing. But still, the bulk of the bookings are done by people who have got cash available. So still in Pakistan, the majority of the population buys cars by making payment as cash. But yes, I would say the reason why our automobile volumes are growing, especially these days, there are many reasons I've explained, but there's also another reason, which is car financing. There are two reasons. One is the rate is very lucrative. You can finance the car in Pakistan these days at a rate which is as low as less than 11%, very close to 10 to 11% range. And financing is also available. In the past, when discount rates were low, some of the banks were not very forthcoming in terms of car financing because there were many NPLs, non-performing loans, and a lot of customers defaulted. But now the risk appetite of the banks has improved. The patterns of the consumers defaulting is going down. Uh, since the discount rate is very low, the per month outflow of cash for a normal consumer is affordable. So that's the reason why car financing is growing. Yes.
Um, with the Sportage, you guys created your own segment, the compact SUV. With the Sorento, you guys have come into direct competition with the Fortuner. So are you guys looking at something bigger than the Fortuner as well to target the imported cars like Prado or Land Cruiser or the others, Lexus that are coming in?
look in Kia's lineup, there is one product which we are liking a lot these days, and a lot is being discussed in the global market about that particular product. The kind of competition it has given to the giants in the North America. We are studying a lot of products as we speak. The two products I talked about, did not name the products. The two products that we would want to launch very soon. Other than those two products, we are also eyeing on the bigger products, I would say, as you talked about, a bigger range products which could excite Pakistani market. Another thing which is happening these days, which is very important, I'm sure the audience is aware of that, the EV policy. Government has recently approved, I think on the 11th or 12th of February, the presidential order was released whereby electric vehicle policy for four-wheelers was approved. Now it's again a new dimension to the auto sector, and we are well placed, I would say. Kia is well placed in Pakistan for both the conventional fuel as well as electrified cars. So our doors are open, like Kia's doors are open for us. We can pick and choose from the basket of the products, whatever product we choose for Pakistan market, and they are willing to support. So I would say EV policy, it is creating competition to the conventional fuel cars, but we have an advantage that we have both the options open for us.
Thank you. EV was going to be my next question, so I will rephrase it a bit. I was sitting with one of the German automotive makers over here, and he was telling me that they're selling 50 of their EV cars here. 16, 17 million is not a small price tag for a car, and he's telling me they're selling 50 a month of that. I know the other two automakers, also the German ones, have been telling me since December that any day we're going to launch one. Looking at that and looking at the EV policy that has come in, and also one of the new entrants has launched the EV model, do you think Pakistan is prepared for EV cars? Especially the fact that in Karachi, okay, fine, we in the city maybe we can use it, but what about Punjab, where most of the people live in the bigger cities, but then they go to their hometowns. Unless you have stations at different places to charge your car, you think Pakistan is ready for something like that?
I think the vision of the Prime Minister is to go big on electric vehicles, especially, and I think because of that vision, government is actually forthcoming, talking to private sector. Like I'm aware of, like ABB putting up charging stations for commercial vehicles. K Electric, because K Electric is a Karachi-based utility company, not Pan Pakistan, but KE and KL have also collaborated to set up charging stations in say Karachi. So I would say utility companies and the fuel supplying or oil marketing companies are collaborating to make charging stations available, because this is in their interest. Because if they don't do this, probably in future they will lose out on the advantage that they have today. Pakistan is not ready as we speak for electric vehicles, but looks like the kind of interest government has shown, the kind of attractive policy they've announced, which is electric vehicle policy for four-wheelers, and the kind of government machinery kind of activated as we speak, looks like in next 3 years time frame, at least, I would not say very, very soon, but in next 3 years time frame, I think you will see a lot of electric vehicles on Pakistan's roads. It will not be a major market share of EV to conventional fuel cars, but I would say a reasonable percentage of the car market will be represented by electrified cars.
Okay. And another question on the numbers. Not to be specific, but the question is, when do you expect that you will need to enhance your capacity? In other words, when do you think you will be able to reach the 50,000-60,000 numbers, and how many years do you see that happening? So in another way, when do you expect to enhance your capacity, or have there been any talks of doing that?
As I said, our capacity as we speak is as high as 60 plus thousand units, 60 to 65,000 units on a double shift basis per annum. So within that we can manage. And as I said initially, we thought that probably 5 years, for 5 years we were good with this capacity, and probably third year or fourth year we will have to start working on the capacity expansion. But looks like probably we'll have to start it now, because the kind of volumes we have started selling and producing from our facility, and the kind of response we have gotten from the 3 CKD models that we are selling today, and the 2 more to be added to our portfolio. With the 5 CKD models, we believe that we will have to start working on the capacity expansion proposal from today, because it takes around a year and a half to have the capacity increased. So if we start today, a year and a half from now or 2 years from now, we will be in a position that we will be good for, say, 10 years from now. So I would say we are very optimistic, very encouraged by the response, and looks like the decision we were about to take, say, 2 years from now, we'll have to take today.
Okay, we will do one last question. I know you've given us the full 1 hour I asked you for, so just one last question, please. The gentleman is asking that Hyundai is usually considered globally to be better than Kia, and internationally they have been doing better than Kia. But in the local market, we've been seeing that Kia has been doing better than Hyundai. In your opinion, what is the reason for this? This is very specific to one person. I can understand. You can talk about generally in your competition. How did you get to number 3, basically?
There are 2-3 things I would say. I've been analyzing the market for quite long now. When I was part of the Toyota Indus Motor, I would say 5 years back. No, 8 years back, when I was part of Toyota. Then only, and then today also, when for last 4 years now, I'm associated with Kia. There are 3-4 things which are differentiating us from Hyundai. Hyundai is a great brand. There's no doubt about it. Kia and Hyundai are part of the same group called Hyundai Motor Group of Korea. In Pakistan, there are 3-4 things which are differentiating us or making us better than Hyundai in Pakistan. I would say the group in Pakistan, Lucky Group, is more, I would say, aggressive, a quick decision maker, very solid in terms of taking risks, in terms of taking timely, quick decisions. So I would say, first of all, the group behind us is supercharged, very, very fast paced group in Pakistan. So there's one, I would say we are fortunate that we've got a very strong group behind us, first. Second thing, I would say Kia is, on styling, Kia has worked a lot globally. On the styling, on the quality, and value for money. So I would say 3 things Kia is actually beating others is on the styling, on the quality of product, and value for money proposition. So on the quality, I can say one thing: for last 6 consecutive years, JD Power initial quality study in US, Kia has been ranked number 1 for 6 consecutive years as a brand for mass market, and number 2, including luxury cars. So Kia is not only a mass market brand, initial quality study, 6 consecutive year number 1, but including luxury, it was last year not only number 2, it was considered number 1 as well. So luxury also became number 1. Just recently, like 2-3 days back, I saw JD Power's stability study, vehicle stability study carried out for 2021, and Kia is number 3 in stability category, which is I would say a marked improvement from where it was to where it has just reached. So Kia has worked a lot on the quality. I talked about styling. The kind of designers Kia has been hiring globally, and the kind of styling it is doing for its products, they are winning different design awards, Red Dot Awards, IF Awards, you name them, they have them. So on the styling, on the optics, on the quality, Kia has done a lot. So that's the reason why they are doing well in the global market. Even Kia is giving tough time to, yes, Hyundai used to be and still probably bigger than Kia, but now Kia is challenging Hyundai, and in many markets they are actually uh, crossing them in terms of market share, in terms of reception. The third thing I talked about, the value for money. The cars that we are selling and producing, the value we are offering to the consumer was unbelievable. People were not, when we launched Sorento, people did not believe that the starting trim of Sorento will be starting from 6,999, which is 7 million rupees. People actually did not believe it when we kind of spread this news that the price starting from 6,999. The price that we are offering, the styling that we are offering, the quality that we are offering in Pakistan, even our plant in Pakistan is, I can claim that it is state-of-the-art plant in Pakistan. Probably no other plant of any OEM is, I would say, close to the plant and the facility that we have. So our plant is right from day one, starting of operations, we have robotic painting. And the robots that we have and the facility that we have is world's largest equipment supplier of paint, which is German facility that we have. The kind of test track we have, it is a kilometer in length, so 2 kilometer round trip test track, on which you can drive the car and you can test your vehicles, and you can be sure that the product that you're releasing to the customers is top notch in terms of quality. So the kind of test track we have, state of the art test track, no one in Pakistan, no other OEM in Pakistan has that kind of test track that we have in Pakistan. No one has the kind of quality paint shop that we have in Pakistan. So I would say the number one, the group behind us, the styling, the quality, and the value for money product that we are offering to the market. Number three, the facility that we have in Pakistan, the state of the art facility. And number four, I would say, there are five things. The number four is the dealership network that we have in Pakistan. We have got today, we are 32 strong in terms of dealership network. We started our CKD operation on July 2019. And today we have got 32 dealership network across Pakistan, and proper dealership network, not shop type dealerships. And the fifth one, I would say, we have, alhamdulillah, a great team in Pakistan in automotive sector.
Perfect. Thank you so much. They're truly really exciting times in the Pakistan auto sector at the moment. Thank you so much, Mohammad Faisal bhai, for taking out the time to join us today and being part of our conference. Before you, we had Ali Jamali bhai from Indus, obviously, and Suneel from PakWheels. And the things that we are hearing, we're truly excited, and I'm sure everyone really benefited from hearing from all of you, including you, Faisal bhai. So with that, I would like to thank you all for joining us today and for being part of the conference. Thank you, Mahmood. I really appreciate your time today.
Pleasure talking to you all.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.